Alright, are you guys ready? We're going to do our big winners and losers video here on the recent winter balance patch for Street Fighter 6. We're going to talk about the characters that got the biggest buffs and the biggest nerfs, and characters that remain untouchable. Pretty much be a tier list for characters that are already really strong, really meta for this season, but they barely got a slap on the wrist and remain at the top. So I'll save a category for that. Big buffs, these are for characters that I feel like will actually be moving up the tier list, will actually be making an impact. Characters that are just buffed, I would say they might make an impact, but we still need more time, or it's not that significant where they're not really going to move up or down. Same self-explanatory. Nerfed might be moving down, and big nerfs definitely moving down to the point where some pro players might be dropping that character and moving on to somebody else that's more meta. So yeah, I am not going to do this in any kind of order. I'm just going to throw a character here and there, but let's just start from the top and I'll just grab a character here. But obviously the first for Untouchable, let's put Rashid up here. This is like an absolute no-brainer that I'm sure you guys agree with. Yeah, they did do some nerfs to Rashid's reversal and his level 1, where he's not as plus anymore. In fact, he's minus after a dash, and he might have a harder time getting the level 2 out because of that. Those were some big ways that Rashid players got it out, is after hitting the reversal and then turning the tides. But it's still, his level 2 is completely intact, has always been intact, and it's still insanely optimized. You either take 2 punish counter throws because you're trying to parry and then you're close to burnout and then you're dead, or you take 2 normal throws and you might get hit by a higher low because you're not holding parry, and then you're almost in burnout and then you're dead. Yeah, I don't want this to be a tier list video. I don't have to explain why Rashid is like the strongest character right now probably, but for how strong he is and for how much they nerfed the other top tier characters, I would put Rashid on the untouchable status right now for sure. Okay, big buffs. I'm gonna throw Ryu in here, man. Ryu definitely is a character that Capcom continues to give substantial buffs every single patch, man. They want you to use this Shoto badly. And on top of that, Capcom is very aware that Ryu is competing with the other Shotos, so they have to give him some extra pick-me-up compared to the other characters. So in this recent patch, now Ryu they're going after his mid-range problems. So they're buffing his forward heavy kick, his crouching medium kick into fireball, and they buffed his donkey kick. And all of these have really changed Ryu's combo structure. The forward heavy kick buff, now Ryu's getting double dash Oki from a lot of his juggles, and as a result he's getting tons of corner carry, which was like one of Ryu's weaknesses. He did do like medium tatsu before, but he's barely doing any damage with that. But now with a forward heavy kick into an air tatsu, really nice. And then the donkey kick buffs, even though the heavy donkey kick is not that much faster, he gets new combos now. He can go counter hit into heavy donkey kick from heavy punch. He can combo medium uppercut or OD uppercut in the corner after heavy donkey kick, which leads to good Oki options, stronger damage. And then of course the fireball just allows him to deal with some really troublesome matchups where he can at least chip the opponent down. Ryu continues to get some big buffs, and more pros are, as much as they talk about, hey man, Ryu's looking really strong, I hope that someone actually plays him. But I think Ryu is gonna constantly keep moving up, and in season 3 they're not gonna stop. All right, let's see here. Character that received some buffs, we'll just throw in here. Buffs, I mean, we can throw in like Jamie. We'll put Jamie up in here. So Jamie's buffs, the main thing they went after is his drinks. Capcom continues to try to figure out, hey, how are we gonna make these Jamie drinks work? Because he has to make a decision of, after he knocks down his opponent, does he get a drink and then reset back to neutral? Or is he, maintain the momentum and try to go in? And there's a lot of cool ideas for this, but Capcom is trying to do something unorthodox here and instead giving Jamie more reward on the drinks themselves. So he's gaining drive meter on the drinks. And honestly, it didn't seem like that big of a deal to me, but a lot of Jamie players were like, oh, this makes his level 2 stronger as a result. Because now that he instantly goes to level 4 drink, he already got drive gain from his drinks in level 4. So that stacks with this buff. So now he gets twice as much drive gauge when he's level 4. So the only way you're going to get to level 4 with Jamie without dying is using that level 2. So that might be something a little underrated. That might be better than we think. However, where Jamie is, which was like on the very bottom of the tier list, I think I just call his buffs. On top of that, they nerfed his sweep, man. And Jamie bros, I know you guys love your sweeps. So I think that hurts Jamie too. So I'm just going to keep him in the buffed. Character in the same. I guess we can throw in Chun-Li. Chun-Li was in a pretty good spot before, but they gave her some stuff. She can now combo her heavy spinning bird kick from her stance medium kick. She can also link into the stance low punch as well. They made it a little bit faster. Her heavy punch gains more drive meter now. It's more of a battery button, which is nice. The key weaknesses of Chun-Li weren't really addressed, even though, like I said, I think she's a strong character, but you know, like she still doesn't have the throw loops. Her potential kicks are still a little wonky, and they didn't bring back her scaling that they nerfed before, like her heavy kick scaling. But nonetheless, Chun-Li did get some buffs, but it's not enough to where I'd say it'd shoot her up the tier list. So that's why I'll just put her as the same. She's still like in a good spot. I guess I could throw Guile in there too, guys. Guile is in a better spot than Chun-Li, I would say, but Guile, they're like really satisfied with Guile. Like that's one of Capcom's characters where like, okay, there's really nothing to do here. All they're doing is just giving him new combos, but it's nothing that's gonna change the meta or anything. So Guile players, like, hopefully you guys aren't getting bored of the character, but at the same time, you know, he's still way up there in that top 10-ish category. So, all right, as for nerves, we should start some controversy, hey? I'm gonna put Bison here. Let's put Bison in nerfed. So Bison clearly got some nerfs. They went after the scaling on his OD knee press. They definitely nerfed his double reverse really hard. I know a lot of Bison players out there are really salty about that. You could just beat it with jab. You know, it's useless now, but he still has OD stomp. He still does insane damage even after the scaling nerfs. I can barely notice it. That just shows you how crazy Bison was before. So Bison, even though he did get nerfed, I wouldn't say it's significant. I still think he's super top tier character. He's still very easy to play, and he'll still be a strong side character for many pros. Yeah, I would say, yeah, a slap on the wrist. The Devil's Reverse change was a big one, but that's besides. Like, his OD Psycho Crusher is still completely intact. They didn't change it at all, and it's like the best special move in the game, in my opinion. So Bison players will still be terrorizing everyone. Okay, who is the first character we're gonna put in the big nerfs? Who got hit hard? And I mean hard, guys. Harder than Bison. Who, guys? Cammy? Yeah, I agree with you guys. We gotta throw Cammy in there. Cammy, I would consider this big nerfs because they like fundamentally changed some stuff. So her reversal, one of the best, if not the best reversal in the game, her OD cannon spike, they made it so it no longer side switches. That's huge. It definitely nerfs her defense a lot. Cammy would be, if you get her in the corner, she does reversal, massive reward, she side switches, it does damage, and then gets the knockdown. It's so good. If she has you in the corner and you try to jump out of the corner, she can do cross cut, OD spike, and put you back in the corner. It's just way too powerful, man. Capcom definitely had to go after it. On top of other things, of course, the crouching medium punch, guys. Cammy players won't be going like this anymore, constantly. That hurt box is extended, man. You hit that thing so far, it's like a Dalsum limb. It hits that hurt box. They went after it big time. So Cammy still has fantastic buttons. They didn't touch standing heavy kick, for example, or standing medium kick. She still has her low forward. But Cammy players, especially the scrubby ones, have to be a little bit more careful spamming that crouching medium punch. What else? They changed her dive kicks. They made her dive kicks a more consistent number when she does it close, especially from wake up dive kick. She won't get that like upper lift combo anymore if she does it really close. It'll be consistently be the same number, and you'll know it's your turn. She'll be consistently -2, I believe, if she does wake up dive kick. They're going after that aspect of it. But the normal dive kicks, like if you hit it at a distance, then you'll still be able to go into the back medium punch, launch you up combo. And they want you to use it properly where you're using it to blow up buttons and throw. So, but yeah, I definitely think this hurts Cammy. We already have some Cammy players that are looking to jump ship. Kazunoko, for example, he's looking at other characters besides Cammy, such as like Kimberly. So I think this will affect some things. And once again, like I said, I know a lot of people are thinking just Punk on the West Coast side, but on the East, the Asia side, there are so many Cammy players, guys, in tournaments. Okay, which character would you guys say is another untouchable? Which character just refuses to be nerfed and will always remain in the top 5, dude? Yeah, of course we're gonna put up Ken. Yeah, Ken is another one. Once again, dude, the downplay army. You guys, man. Oh, man. I respect it. I respect it. I don't know how Ken players do it, but they continue to convince Capcom that he's in the perfect spot. And honestly, I think deep down, Capcom wants all the Shotos to eventually be, you know, in that top 10, top 5-ish row anyways. It's very clear. The one thing that's just like, to me about Ken is like, I don't understand why they don't nerf his Jinrai kicks. Like, nerf the scrubby Kens. I don't understand why they don't. But nonetheless, Ken got a slap on the wrist as well. They nerfed his reversal Oki, and they nerfed his level 1 Oki. It's very similar to Rashid. But because of Ken's insane drive rush speed, he still gets pressure even after those. It's just not as crazy. But he still gets stuff. Plus, he has got the OD Fireball drive rush. So, like I said before, if you're going to invest in character stocks and top tier stocks, invest in Ken. He is the highest chance that he will stay consistent throughout this game's entire life, from beginning to end, from the beta test till year 7 or year 8 or however long Street Fighter 6 lasts for. I believe Ken will always be in that like top 5-ish category. He'll always be strong, always. But once again, I just wish Capcom would go after the scrubby Kens, because in the hands of a good player, man, Ken's really fun to watch. And honestly, so is Rashid for me. Both these characters, like, Capcom's being extra careful with them. Capcom doesn't want to like disrupt the tier list in a sense where we're getting I don't know how to say it, the clown characters in top 5. They're trying to keep the well-rounded characters at the top. Okay, more big buffs. Who else I want to throw in there? I'm gonna throw in Kimberly, man. I think Kimberly's buffs are really good. When we were breaking it down that night, I was like, you know, these are good buffs. Like, I was happy about them. But now that I fully understand the arc step changes, Kimberly is like, I think she's gonna move way up, guys. She might be the big winner of this season, now that I think about it. I don't know, we'll figure it out at the end, but her buffs are like really good. So her run pressure, she can now go heavy punch or medium punch into regular run, and if you mash a button to stop her, she'll run off of you with the arc step, right? Then she can dive kick you after, and then that opens up so much pressure. Now she can do run stop, and you're gonna second guess yourself. She doesn't have to use meter for that anymore. Basically, it's gonna be like old school Zeku, like in Street Fighter 5. So that's gonna be really scary. Plus, even her target combo, medium punch, heavy punch target combo, she can go into the OD run and frame trap you now. So all of her main pressure options, she has depth to it. And then on top of that, they continue to buff her Vagabond Edge, the swap. And her heavy punch range is crazy now. She lunges forward and the hitbox is way bigger than it looks. So now she has mid-screen tools. She has more ways to combo to her level 2 that I didn't realize when I was breaking it down, where she can go into the OD run, which goes with the run buffs. She can combo the level 2 mid-screen with that when she runs off of you. I think there's a level 1 conversion as well. Even though I know Kimberly players are like, man, she needs her reverse, but not giving it to her. But pay attention to the buffs they're giving her and the way they want you to play her. She's like I said, she was a dark horse before, man. She already has some good matchups against some of the best characters, like low key. And yeah, Kimberly looks really fun. She definitely got some substantial buffs. They want you guys to play her. Okay, buffed. Who else got some good buffs? Honda, Lily, yeah, I think Honda. Okay, Honda, I'm not quite sure. Like, Honda's buffs are actually pretty good, but once again, it's kind of like Jamie, where it's like he's already at the bottom, so I'm not sure. But he did get some cool buffs. One thing is that they're starting to make Honda more like a sumo wrestler, and that move where he goes the OD version, it's +3 on hit or on block, and they made his Osho throw faster at 6 frames. So no matter what, if he hits you with the OD palm, whether you get hit or block, he can mix you up with the command grab. That's huge for Honda's pressure, and that it allows him to not depend on headbutts so much, right? Or butt slam. That's really good. And then what else did they buff with him? The heavy punch buff. Now all of his B&Bs, main B&Bs, he can use heavy punch to naturally go into the launcher. So that's a really good change. So his damage goes up. His level 2 works against Rashid's level 2 now, which is nice. I can see the argument for big buffs for Honda. We just don't have too many Honda players, and he was in such a low spot, so I'll just put him in buffed for now. We'll figure it out later. Okay, another character that's like samey. I'll put in DJ. I think DJ is still the same. They're really trying to make his overhead, his sway overhead, have more sauce to it. But I mean, he still has his mid-screen conversions that do similar things, just a little bit more damage. So he can go when he does his overhead kick and land a punish counter, he can go into heavy jackknife after, but it's just so slow. Getting that punish counter would be only like on a throw whiff. And the OD overhead, he can go into the heavy sobot, which is very convenient now because now you have options to go into super. You get Oki and you get more damage, so it's like a win-win. But I don't know, DJ just has some significant weaknesses that I'm just going to keep him the same. Level 1 still doesn't have a use. It's still not invincible. That's such a massive weakness. They're starting to make his jackknife more consistent. That is his flash kick, so they're fixing the hitbox on that too. But like, that was where DJ was before in season 1. Like, a consistency buff is not good enough for me to say, hey, he's moving up. So I'm just gonna put DJ as the same. DJ's in a pretty rough spot, I would say. Okay, who's another character that got nerfed? Got some nerfs here. This is gonna be tough. I don't know if you guys are gonna agree with me on this one, but I'm gonna put Akuma here too. Akuma, I had Akuma as like the best character in the game, like Akuma and then Rashid. They did nerf Akuma, but the biggest nerf would be the fireballs and the side switch demon flip being minus. But he still has fantastic Oki. They nerfed his forward medium kick, but I mean, how do you whip punish that thing? It goes full screen anyways. His fireballs are still super good. It's not just the fact that he didn't have no hands there. It's the speed, the conversions, the fact that he can charge it, the plus frames, still might be the best fireball in the game, even after those nerfs. I still think Akuma is insanely strong. They nerfed his reversal damage, but he's mostly intact. He's just more of a glass cannon than ever, and now I can Capcom's trying to make him more unstable without just lowering his health even more. So yeah, man, I still think Akuma is in a good spot. It's kind of like Bison, right? Like, they went after Devil's Reverse, and then for Akuma they went after his demon flip, but Akuma's still cool. Yeah, his back walk speed, it's still really fast. It's noticeable. It's just not like faster than Kimberly now, you know? But his forward walk speed is still insane. He did lose some shimmies, like drive rush, jab, back walk, shimmy, but he still gets the throw loop corner shimmy where he can dash forward and back walk. If they nerfed that, I would have put Akuma in the big nerfs. But since he still has that, Akuma still has one of the best, if not the best, corner game in the game. Akuma is still, yeah, crazy. All right, more big nerfs. Who else got a massive nerf this season, guys? What do you think? Yeah, dude, definitely, guys. Ed, for sure. Ed got hit hard, guys, real hard. In fact, let me put Ed in the front here. Ed, man, they went after him. And the crazy part is they didn't go after like the level 2 combos like a lot of people expected. They went after it in a different way. They made it so that when Ed lands his level 2 on you, the opponent will start gaining meter faster now. So they'll be able to fight back and not be put in burnout. So the longer the combo, the more meter gain the opponent will get. But then now they turned his buttons into like Dhalsim buttons, his crouching medium kick, standing medium kick. Both of those very whiff punishable now, as they should be. Like, Ed was a character that was like impossible to like play neutral with, dude. Like, he just has full screen snatcher and you can't whiff punish any of his buttons. So I'm glad Capcom took a look at it. But then they went overboard too. They nerfed the flicker, where it's more susceptible to getting hit when he's like about to use it, like launch it or charge it. And the kill switch back was a massive nerf, dude. So basically every time Ed backdashes, that hurt box is extended so forward. You can DI him no problem. You can hit him with so much stuff. Like, now when I'm playing against Ed, I just tested in rank. Like, when I see Ed charging that snatcher, I just go for DI, and most of the time I hit him. Like, I think Capcom went overboard, and it's kind of strange because the kill switch back, like, that's what its intention was to bait DI if you read it. So I don't know, maybe they should have made it so it has more recovery. Like, after he does kill switch back, maybe they make it so they can drive rush in if he just does it willy-nilly. I don't know. Then they nerfed his crouching light kick. His crouching light kick no longer counter hits into itself, which was one of his big defensive options, and it coincides with his OD blitz. Now it has your point blank. They reduced the pushback, your point blank, and your -4. So now it's punishable, which hurts his level 2, because I was usually Ed players would just throw out a crouching medium punch or crouching light kick, counter hit, crouching light kick, and go into the OD blitz. Now you can't do that anymore. You have to confirm. So I would say Ed might be the biggest loser of this patch. He's definitely going down. There's already There's a giant Ed army, especially in the Japan side, and there's a lot of Ed players that are looking elsewhere already. Even maybe Lashar guys. I saw Momochi playing Terry. We'll see. Yep, sorry Ed bros. I still think Ed's a cool character, man, but the kill switch back was like overkill. Okay, what else? Do we have another Untouchable, guys, or is that it for the Untouchables, you guys would say? Kinda wanna throw in Zangief. Let's throw in Zangief. Farming for content, engagement. Okay, I know Zangief got 2 emergency nerfs, but technically, I'm talking about the winter balance patch, not season 2 overall. But yeah, let's put Zangief on Untouchable. Honestly, Zangief deserves a vacation, man. Zangief players were shaking in their boots. They were expecting this character to get the Nash treatment this patch, and Capcom mixed this up. So yeah, Zangief, enjoy your vacation, but be careful in season 3. Maybe Capcom will be going in there, but they actually buffed Zangief. They looked at his stomps, you know. They still don't remember Tundra Storm exists. They buffed his throws, the throws that he wasn't using. They buffed that as well. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Zangief is in a really high spot, even though Zangief players won't admit it, but he's in the top 10-ish area. And he's a grappler, which is very unique to be that high on the tier list. So Capcom was aware of that, and they were trying to knock him down a size, nerfing his headbutt, and they did nerf his jump cancel, SPD. It still works against other command grabs, but obviously against normal throws it got nerfed and can't do it anymore. And that's the big thing. So Zangief did get his defense nerfed, but I would put Zangief on Untouchable status because I think Capcom could have definitely went harder on Zangief for sure. He still has insane buttons, medium punches, cracked. Zangief is just crouching jab. He just walks you down and chips you like a monster. So I still think Zangief is really good, especially for his difficulty to play compared to these other characters. Okay, big buffs. Who else got some big buffs? Oh, bro, yeah. Let's put in Luke. Luke, man, got some big buffs. I'm gonna put him ahead of Ryu for sure. Oh my god, Luke, dude, guys, Capcom wants him back on the front cover of the box. 100%. Luke is way up there, guys. Oh man, where do I even start with Luke? So they're starting to reduce the scaling on his damage. The medium charge knuckle, that's like his key B&B starter. So they're buffing the damage back. They're buffing his OD fireball is huge too. They gave him a new conversion where he goes the OD fireball into the OD fire follow-up, causes a wall splat now. He could go run shoulder level 3, he can do level 1. If you're near the corner on Luke, it's really scary. He can make a crazy comeback on you. They're trying to revert him back to like close to season 1. And he just got a lot of buffs recently too. The less pushback on his lights. The forward heavy punch, he lunges forward now, has more range than a standing heavy punch. I'm trying to distinguish it. So the forward heavy punch is really cracked, and that's already special cancelable and one hit confirmable. Then his crouching medium kick got buffed to the crouching heavy punch. It's +2 on hit from +1. So now he gets a true throw. I don't know if he can shimmy, but he can do throw strike mix up on you at least. This should have gone harder. Look at ass, man. Dude, like, Luke got some amazing buffs. What else did they change with him? I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Hold on, let me check real quick. They buffed his standing heavy kick too. That's his battery. That's really good. They helped on a consistency. He's got like a lot of crazy corner carry, meteor dump combos as well. And I definitely put him in the big buffs category because there's already players that are jumping ship to Luke, and maybe even Ryu as well. So all the Shotos now, unless you're a Ken player, everyone's kind of shuffling around. Like Akuma players that are looking for a life raft, they're either going to Luke or Ryu, but a lot are going to Luke in particular. And all the old Luke mains are going back to Luke, including Chris Wong. He's playing non-stop Luke right now, so expect the Luke army to grow for sure. And I was surprised too on the YouTube, there's a lot of Luke bros in the comments, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, Luke is, man, he's already in a good spot. I think he's already moved up the tier list, but if they buff him one more time, he's 100% back. Okay, the character that just got buffed. I'm not quite sure about this one either, guys, but I'm going to throw Marisa here. Marisa might be big buffs, though. It depends. The thing about Marisa, this is a character that is in another rough spot. And in season 2, she completely dropped off. They went after her level 3 checkmate. So she was in a rough spot, but once again, like Honda and Jamie, that's why I kind of have her just on buff. But they're doing some cool buffs to her. First, they're making it so her grounded charge buttons are faster, like 3 frames faster, I believe. So she can do her full charge moves a lot more, and she gets much better conversions from them. Her crouching heavy punch is now a shimmy button, where she can like literally charge, crouch, and heavy punch you 3 times in a row in the corner. And they added horizontal range, tucked in the throw hurt box. So Marisa is always known as this character that just deletes you if you make one big mistake, and they're doubling down on that. So if you press throw against Marisa, you know, be aware it could be the end of the round if you guess wrong with that charge, crouch, and heavy punch, which is awesome. They still didn't buff her anti-airs, so her anti-airs are still clunky, and she's still a character without the crouch immune kick drive rush, but they're at least doubling down on her tool set. Like her overhead now knocks down the double overhead follow-up, which was nice. She has some incredible corner carry, which is nice. So I'm glad that I think Marisa is a really cool character. So I hope they continue to buff her more, and we'll see maybe the impact of those charge and her new combos might put her more up, more Honda. Like all 3 of these characters, like I said, I'm a little iffy about, because like the Jamie level 2 buffs might be more significant than I believe Honda's pressure, right, with the heavy punch and the sumo slap move, and then Marisa's charges. So I'm just gonna put them in buff for now, but they definitely got buffed for sure. Same. There's actually a lot of characters I'd put in the same. I could throw Manon up here as well. Manon, they buffed her heavy kick. It's +1 on hit, already a godlike button. But she gains more meter from it too. More consistency, and I like that they're going after her medals. They're making her medals more enjoyable by giving her more meter gain from that too, which is good. Which helps her because she has this weird situation where she has to decide between her level 3 and her medals. So this will help her get to her level 3 sooner. Her feints are a little bit more buffed, help her more against zoners, and might create some mix-ups with her twirl feints. But, you know, Capcom is just playing very, very careful with Manon. They have always been. She has been getting buffed, but they're small buffs to keep her intact. But, you know, Manon players, I like, once again, I still feel like she has a lot of great tournament representation. We still see her in tournaments, as low as a lot of people put her. So I think she's a little underrated, but I think Capcom is aware of this, and they're still keeping her intact. Okay, more same characters. I'm gonna throw Jury in there too. Might as well throw in Jury. Jury is in a good spot, just like Chun-Li is. They made it so her crouching heavy punch punish counter, she gets better punishes on reversals. She can combo into multiple stocks and get like 2 stocks. She has like a side switch from it too, I saw. So that's really nice. Jumping heavy punch still untouched. So $1 million character. Jury, I think, is still just the same. So Jury's in a great spot, which is nice. What else here? Is there any character that got nerfs or big nerfs? I think all these characters here got buffed now. Blanca, I put the same too. No, Blanca, Jury, all these characters are all in kind of good spots. They buffed Blanca's forward heavy punch where he does that big lunge at you, that claw. They buffed that. They buffed his forward medium kick where he does the double knee smash. He can juggle it into it after Rainbow Ball. Got some more juggle conversions. They didn't add any more scaling to Blanca. Blanca's still used in tournaments. He's not as crazy as he was in Season 1, but he's still pretty intact. He's like in a better spot than some characters that really dropped off at the beginning, like Luke, for example. So he survived that. Crouch and heavy punch is his battery button, but he only got like 2 or 3 notes of changes, but yeah, more knockdown on that lunge claw attack. Let's put, yeah, Blanca is the same. JP, I put the same too. JP, they buffed his level 2. They made it so now that when JP throws you out of his level 2, he can continue the juggle after. I think that is a strong buff on the level 2, but the level 2 is already good. But the punish counter, he can convert off, and the normal throw, even if he doesn't punish counter you. JP, they're like, okay, we buffed his anti-air, and then they're still being a little careful. Okay, let's not go crazy. They don't want like 4 JPs in top 8 anymore. They went more crazy on Luke, but JP, they're staying a little reserved. They just want to see 1 or 2 JPs a tournament, so he's in a good spot. Big buffs. I would put Terry in the big buffs too. Do you guys agree with me on this? I think Terry got some big buffs. The heavy punch is now +1 on block, so now he actually gets pressure, and that button is more meaningful. They buffed his corner combos because they made his heavy round wave. They made it faster, and now he can like naturally combo medium power charge into an uppercut, so his damage output went higher. More pressure options. His crack shoot, more rewarding when it lands. It causes a knockdown on counter hit. It's more plus when it hits. Yeah, Terry's a good spot. I still think he has some weaknesses though, like against zoning in general, and his anti-airs are still iffy, his cross-up's still iffy, but Terry's a pretty complicated character, man. So I've been seeing a lot of Twitter tech and there's still discoveries with him. That heavy round wave one was big, and the level 2 buffs as well, so his damage output is really high, and his corner carry conversions and his corner game is all really good. And he's just the most recent character. I feel like just not too many pros are using him because we're really close to the end of the CPT season right now, so it's just hard for pros to pick him up and explore him a little bit more. We'll have to wait until the next season starts, probably, till we start seeing him more in tournaments. Oil King has been doing really good with him, even though he's trolling. He used him twice now, 2 separate tournaments, a CPT and that Taiwan 3v3. So, and he's showing the potential of the character. Yeah, Terry could be banned. That Unga, man, on his medium knuckle, man. If they, like I said, if they buff heavy crack shoot and make it give it projectile invincibility, Terry will shoot right up. It'll be nuts. Okay, same. I would put Aki as the same as well. They buff her heavy serpent lash, so she gets more juggles from that as well. She only had like 2 or 3 lines. Standing heavy punch is her battery move. The heavy cruel fate, they added make it so that when you hit someone in the airborne with it, the jumpy stabby stab move, she can convert off of. But you know, Aki's still Aki. She's not going up, she's not going down. Dalsum, I want to say Dalsum got buffed. I don't know where to... Yeah, I could put him in buffed. It's fine. Let's put Dalsum in buffed. This character, he could not stop players from mashing on his lights. Isn't that crazy? I didn't even know about that. He could go standing light punch, crouching light punch, crouching light punch now and counter hit you. And they made it so that if he hits you with lights, he can call onto his level 1 with his OD Yoga Fire. I think that's great. Not to mention 2 key buttons of his crouching heavy punch and standing heavy punch. They're both his battery moves. They gave him 2 battery moves. So yeah, I think it's buffed. I don't think it's as buffed as these characters on the left, but Dalsum, he's kind of like another kind of underrated character. So I just put him as buffed. They're giving Dalsum some love. And then finally Lily. Lily. I would put her in buff too. Now I know Lily players are really salty. They also didn't give her the Windstock reversal, and it didn't look like they gave her much, but one of her big weaknesses were her lights, man. It really was. And the Windstock light buffs are pretty cool. There's like juggles into resets with her crouching heavy punch, her sweep, more corner carry as a result. If she gets a whiff punish, it's going to be a lot more rewarding, and Capcom's going in the direction of just not, you know, using the making you have uses for the Windstock besides OD Spire. That's what we want for this character. I still think we can't save this character until they actually nerf the OD Spire, and then they could finally start buffing everything else. But I think her buffs are just like a little underrated. I think a lot, once it settles in, I think Lily players will enjoy them more. I do think it changed some of her combo routes, gave more uses for that useless forward heavy punch target combo too, giving Oki as well. So I consider them buffs, but obviously not big buffs. I agree with that. Let me rearrange the order here. I think I would say Geef got nerfed because of that jump cancel SPD. Yeah, I can agree, but for how powerful Zangief is, and only like 2 Zangiefs actually used it. Actually, maybe only 1 Zangief used it consistently. Like for example, Itazan won a tournament, won a major with just medium punch alone. It wasn't used that much. It was worth nerfing though, but everything else stayed intact. All right, guys, so here's my list for biggest winners and losers. Like I said, these 3 characters were already in a very strong spot, and they got some very minor nerfs. Rishi with his reversal on level 1 Oki, Ken with his reversal on level 1 Oki, and Zangief with the jump cancel he lost. But all 3 characters I think are going to stay the same at the very top level. Big buffs, I think these characters are going to be going up. I think out of where characters were, I think the character moving up the most, the biggest winners, I believe would be Kimberly and Luke are the safest bets. I think these characters are actually moving up the tier list. Kimberly for sure, with her pressure options they changed with the arc step. I think so. Kimberly's I think more pros are going to pick her up, and definitely Luke bros are coming back now that he's starting to come back to his season 1 iteration. But Ryu as well continues to be super buffed. Terry is getting buffed as well. These characters have been receiving buffs, and they might be moving up the tier list, but I'm not quite sure. But they did receive buffs nonetheless. Same, I don't think these characters are moving at all right now. They all receive buffs, but nothing I would say that's significant that's like meta changing. Bison and Akuma definitely got nerfed, but not super hard. Akuma, if you think he's like in that top 2 spot, then he's definitely going down. Like, he's definitely more unstable than Ken and Rishi for sure. And Bison, like I said, I don't think he relied on that Devil's Reverse as much as people think. And all of his super powerful moves and damage is still intact. So he might be moving down a slot or 2, but nothing like a full tier. And then these characters I think are the most significant. The biggest losers is Ed, no doubt. They went after Ed really hard. And Cammy, they changed her a bit, especially her defense. And Cammy's already a pretty linear character to begin with. So we'll see how those results impact. I know players are dropping these characters and moving to some other ones, so that'll definitely affect the meta. And also don't forget, guys, that we are near the end of the CPT season. We only have 1 major left in like a week with Kings of the World, and then it's Capcom Cup in 3-4 months in March. So afterwards we're probably going to receive the major patch, which will probably include system changes to Street Fighter 6. So even though this is like an early video, we're not really going to see many tournaments that reflect these characters getting buffed or nerfed. They're just going to be explored. So nothing is in stone yet, but we can kind of see where Capcom's head out on which characters they want to remain at the top and which characters they're trying to help. So yeah, let me know in the comments below if you guys agree with this list, or if you guys think that I'm downplaying some of the nerfs or buffs for the characters. I'd love to hear it. And well, we'll do a follow-up like tier list video at some point, at least after the last major, when all the CPT tournaments are done this month. Thanks for watching, everyone, and chat, thanks for helping me, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.